I'm recording.
All right.
I'm recording. I've been recording. I've been recording all my life.
So, as you guys know, I just got a 3D printer recently.
Yes, I did hear that because we've been making jokes on Facebook about all the things we want you to make us.
Such as?
Well, what can you make with it? I mean, go ahead.
I don't know that much about 3D printing.
Yeah,
Let's learn.
Teach us.
It squirts out molten plastic into shapes.
So you can just make molten plastic out in like triangles and stuff? That's kind of boring.
Dude, that it was invented decades ago. I had one when I was a child. It's called Play-Doh.
Yeah.
No,
and it tastes delicious.
It's hot. It's precise. I can basically, you see, I can say, oh, hey, I'm missing this Lego piece. Here, let me recreate it.
See, you're just proving me right. It's just a toy.
I had a 3D printer where I could put like some of the 3D printer juice in it and like pull down a lever and like French fries would be pushed out.
I know.
Like, yeah.
I had that too.
And they were delicious.
How much did you pay for your Play-Doh, Adam?
Yeah, how much is your McDonald's
he doesn't want to
French
tell us.
fry 3D printer?
No, actually, the funny thing is, I actually returned it.
What if Adam
I don't have it yet.
rich? He gets off the podcast and just jumps into a pile of money and 3D printer goo.
All right.
He's been using it to make 3D plastic money. He hasn't figured out yet that it's not real money.
Wait, you guys,
Adam,
you guys have to just wait until I 3D print another 3D printer.
This room.
That's my goal.
I'm sure there's a lesson to be learned in all this.
Speaking of lessons.
Hey! Oh!
All right.
Nice.
Let's do some. I'm just gonna throw on some music.
Teach your children well. Their father's hell did slowly go by. So just look at them and sigh.
Hey everyone, you're listening to GenreBot, the group writing machine. I'm Adam. There's a lesson in all of this.
And I'm Vic. Beware the flatterers of the world. Andrew, you're looking very nice today.
And Andrew's
Slow and steady wins the race. I'm Andrew.
That was pretty good.
Nice,
I was going to chastise you for doing I'm not going to talk for the opening bits again, but you pulled through.
But this time it had meaning.
Yeah, yes it did.
Very good.
Fables. That's
Fables.
our genre of the week.
Yes, that's it for today. And it's me.
Yeah.
It's Victor's genre, Fables, this week.
Fables.
Go.
Okay.
I gotta stop being slow and steady. This is gonna mess up like the synchronization.
Or you could just shift the timeline, and so that all
everything's
your
on
responses
time.
are still.
I mean, no, that's what I do. But you guys are numbers. You're all just numbers in a machine. You don't know me. You don't know who I am. I'm an artist and a scientist and a man of God.
Okay.
All right. So, hey. So this one's interesting because I just, no one cares, but I'm just going to point this out for a second. I teach high school literature, so I think of things in terms of literature sometimes when I probably shouldn't. And there's a certain kind of movie that I wanted to do, and Fable's the first word that came to mind. It's still valid, and it's still definitely a certain niche of film that we're going to explore, but let me just explain real quick. A fable is a short tale, that usually involves some kind of moral about just human principles or just little lesson for you to learn. But the thing that makes Fables special is that it always involves the anthropomorphication of either objects, plants, or animals, or basically anything that's not human. Now, to anthropomorphize something is to give it human-like qualities, like personification. All right, so let me give you some examples. Usually it's animals. Usually animals are the main characters of a fable. There can be people, but there are important characters that are not people. So back in the 500s, like around 550,
Way back when.
Yeah. In fact, that might even be BC. I kind of glanced at it real quick when I was doing my research. But anyway, a long, long time ago. There was Aesop. You've probably heard of Aesop's fables. The lion and the mouse, the tortoise and the hare, which we've already referenced.
The lion, the witch, and the wardrobe.
Later on, there were some others. There were some that became famous, like in the Canterbury Tales. There's, Chanticleer the rooster, and that's the one I referenced. And then later on in history, in the 1900s, we have stuff like Animal Farm by George Orwell, and that follows fable logic. It's the main characters are animals. Now that's also allegorical and blah blah blah. We won't get into that. The point is, it teaches you
the pigs are Donald Trump. I get it.
Well, it teaches you a lesson about life, and it uses things that aren't people but act like people. All right, that's basically the logic. Now, here are some examples that'll help you hopefully picture what we're talking about. Okay, Chicken Little, Charlotte's Web, Disney, The Fox and the Hound, Finding Nemo, Toy Story, which I would like to point out is not animals. That is anthropomorphic toys.
Yeah, but that works just as well.
It works exactly as well. So,
also, I'd say pretty much any animal in a Disney film is anthropomorphized to an extent.
Yeah,
except in Frozen, where the reindeer is just a dog.
But it's no.
It's dogapomorphized.
Yeah, white eyes.
Like I said, it gets a little bit messy in film because other genres intersect with this one like crazy. But I just think it could be a fun jumping off point to say, okay, it's a fable, so our characters are mostly non-human at the least. And it has to teach some kind of lesson. Now, this does not have to be limited to children's stories. Animal Farm is certainly not for children. But that is pretty common, in modern fable movie stuff. Okay, so that's it. That's Fables.
Nailed it. All right. So, it's your turn to choose the characters. Who's going first? Each of us has a character, and only one can go first.
I choose Andrew to go first. Haha. Actually, no, he went first last time. Let's not do him first. Let's do Adam first.
Andrew, your slow and steady response saved you.
My character is...
I saw it coming. Okay.
My character is named Parrot. Parrot's a parrot. He's a fun guy to hang out with, but his inability to keep his beak shut gets him into trouble oftentimes.
Okay.
He has green plumage. I just decided that now.
Okay.
All right. Victor, you may go next. I've decided for you.
Or if he wants me to go next.
So hold on, Parrot, and he's kind of a loudmouth and gets himself into trouble. I can work with that. I can totally work with that.
Me too.
I based him on one of us who maybe has a big mouth and doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut. Not gonna say which one of us it is.
It's definitely Adam.
Yes, I'm the one with all the comments.
All the weird, annoying quirks and sometimes weird moments of racism, just like the Mongolian that he is.
I really should start recording our Skype D&D sessions so that I can cut out clips of Andrew and just put them into our audio.
Oh man, yeah. Me and Victor play a D&D game with the great Theo and Ian of another podcast called A Matter of Taste.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and I drank blood one time.
Yeah,
it was great.
No.
Wait.
He stood.
Victor made me do it.
We're not doing this again. Okay, we're keep rolling.
Yeah. Adam's got recordings.
We had the shortest character in history, and I want to keep it that way.
We're filling it. All right, Adam, you're up, buddy. Go ahead.
Sure. So my character's name is Logan.
Logan. Like Wolverine.
He is an eagle owl.
Okay.
Huh.
Yes.
Victor, an eagle owl is a type of owl. It's just a large, like
big owl. Owl, it's kind of like a bigger predator, apex predator type owl.
Yeah, I don't want to give the impression that this is some kind of hybrid animal because, not everyone knows what an eagle owl is.
But
I put eagle space owl parentheses big scary owl. Got it.
Yeah.
Eagle owl. And the angle I want to take with this character is owls in fables are usually portrayed as being kind of wise, kind of old manny, mentory. But I want based on owls in real life, they're really predatory. They're kind of, yeah. I'm gonna keep throwing that word around. So apex predators, man. They eat lots of stuff.
Like parrots.
Eagle owls eat medium-sized mammals.
Huh.
Not just small-sized mammals. And they're like parrots. True.
Yeah, they could take a cat.
They could
probably
take on a cat. This one of them, I think it's the Vero eagle owl. He's in the sub-Sahara. Yeah, he takes on like mongoose and monkeys and all kinds of things. So that's the angle I want to take with it. He's more aggressive, more nest.
So more like an eagle or a hawk in a traditional Fable.
Right, but it's got the look of an owl to it. It's kind of ruthless kind of dude to him.
Oh, I see. So he's got the amount of wisdom that an owl would have, but it's like applied in a very like kind of predatory Vulcan-like sense. Like, yes, I will defeat you with my brain and then eat you and spit out your bones.
Yep,
I think Adam was trying to go against type and make a villain.
I was in both sense of the meta sense of us and the in owl sense of owl.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, yeah.
There's Logan, and I like the idea of us having someone named Logan and someone named Parrot.
Yeah. I was hoping you guys would stick to that.
All right, and finally.
All right, well, this is going to blow your minds, but as you guys were telling me your characters, I was already thinking about how we could make it work.
Oh?
Please tell me it's a bird.
Or it's the wind.
It's not a bird.
Oh.
In fact, it's not even an animal.
Is it the wind?
Nope. Is it the concept of friendship?
Because, actually, when I looked up Fable as the genre, the first thing that pointed out to me, it didn't just say animals, it said animals or objects or forces of nature. I'm like, Victor's doing something that's not an animal.
Yeah, like the north wind and the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I almost did wind myself.
But because truth be told, I do my little pre-research here, very quick, and that's I feel like that's the way we should, just keep it short. Just give us a quick, idea of what we're working with here.
You're really keeping it short now.
And I noticed that out of all these, my absolute favorite Fable, like for the format, is definitely Toy Story. Big soft spot for Toy Story. And I think that that's sort of relatively untapped. There aren't that many stories that are quite like that. So, here's my idea. My character's name is Iota. I-O-T-A.
Alright.
And Iota stands for something, but I'll get to that in a moment. My character is an anthropomorphized cell phone, but there's a story behind it.
Oh,
it's
please tell me the story.
Well, it's not as much of a story. It's an explanation.
Okay.
Always snap before you chat.
The explanation is that we tend to have two schools of thought when it comes to technology. It's just technology that does what we want. It's just a tool, whatever. Or, they gain sentience and want to rule us. I'm thinking of it more like we create technology that's just really, really advanced. Like, cell phones are getting pretty ridiculous with the stuff they're able to do. But I'm thinking, what if we made it so advanced we didn't realize that it almost had like a childlike sense of sentience? Where it kind of is self-aware, but it doesn't really have that adult of a mentality. It just kind of starts to get curious about its own existence and stuff like that. Very prematurely AI, and I picture this story being about how this kind of asking the same questions as Toy Story, where it's like, well, I'm built for a purpose and this is what I need to do and it's important, but at the same time has its own little adventures and has its own sense of identity. So IOTA actually stands for Interactive Omni-Tool Technology Application.
All right. We got an episode here, folks.
Well, parrots talk.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So
the other thing is all animals talking in a Fable.
Well, right, but I'm saying the parrot can speak in people. There's a thing. There's a line.
I see what you're saying.
There's a line to be drawn. Yeah. Like in Fables, the animals are anthropomorphized, but that doesn't mean that they actually speak English. It just means that in the story, we know what the animals are saying to each other.
Right. Oh,
So,
yeah, I see where we're going with this. I don't
so like Logan can't talk to the phone, but Parrot can.
Right.
And the funny thing is, the phone is this really advanced thing, and the parrot, I imagine, if I was writing a Fable-style movie and a parrot was a character, I would give him mannerisms that are kind of like that, because we already kind of anthropomorphize parrots. Like, we picture them being like little dumb people that can talk, but only kind of.
In every form of media, when you see a parrot, you see it can hold conversations when it's more of just a short recording of whatever its brain picked up.
I don't know. My friend has a parrot, and that thing is like that. He should be allowed to vote. Like this thing. I'm not joking. He can actually say like, "Hey, I want a peanut," and it's in my friend's dad's voice, so it's really unnerving. Hey, I want a peanut, and then like you try and hand him a walnut, and he's like, "No, I said peanut."
You're the expert, so I'll take your word on that. So I retract
like,
my previous statements on parrots.
Look up after this recording. Look up a video of Alex the gray parrot. Like, if you can hold up like a green circle and a green square, and you'll be like, "What's different?" And he'll be like, "Shape." Then you hold up like an orange circle and an orange circle and a green circle, and you're like, "What's different?" He's like, "Color," and you're like,
That's not as impressive as I thought it was going to be.
Swear alarm. I'm trying to show that up on the sonogram. I got to take that out. I'm so mad at myself for doing that.
Relax. Keep going. Adam, what were you saying?
I was saying that I thought you were going to say something like, he holds up a green circle and a green square, and he'll be like, "What's the difference here?" And he's like, "Well, that one." Well, that's a.
What you got there? What you got there is a parallelogram,
which has
you got 4 right angles over here. Over here, no angles at all. It's just...
That's what I was expecting this story to go. But I guess that's cool. Color and shape, and
I'll tell you what's different.
Thanks, Susie.
I'll tell you what's different. Neither of those things is a peanut, and I want a peanut.
How long have we been out this?
I don't know, but as you can see, there are plenty of bits to do with a parrot.
Oh yeah, parrot's Fable Gold.
Oh wait, what if the parrot is like in a lab, and like in the same lab complex, they're building this like sentient cell phone?
Nope.
And that's
I don't. I want us to get away from sci-fi.
Okay, you want to put us?
I want this to be like a kid's phone.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe not a kid, but maybe even like a college student. You know, college student has a phone, has like a pet parrot.
Oh,
you know, he's on campus somewhere. Where there's woods nearby. I mean, my campus wasn't. Well, no, not even. I mean, like my campus was in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't even the woods. It was like near an interstate, and we had like a family of hawks show up. Like it doesn't really have to be that isolated of a place. In fact, I think it's important that it's a place that is sort of suburban, like has towers and buildings, and but also has wildlife, has woods, has stuff like that. Maybe even near a mountain.
My campus is in the middle of the city, and we've had I've seen red-tailed hawks and stuff on campus, but owls are more like they hunt by sound more so they wouldn't do well in a city.
It doesn't have to be a city.
But I hear what you're saying, like suburbs on the brink of rural.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right, I follow that. Okay, so
go ahead.
I'm just thinking we got these 3 guys and parrot's cell phone. They're buddies in this kid's world, right? Is it the Toy Story scenario where he leaves for school and no, he takes his phone with him? That doesn't work.
What I'm thinking is maybe like while the kid's asleep and it's nighttime, like on the windowsill, the parrot is like sitting there in the window, like with the the moon and all that stuff, and the phone's sitting there, and there'll be like this little moment where like maybe the parrot mimics something that the kid was saying to his phone. Because that's the thing, like, the phone needs to be this new big thing. Like, oh man, the IOTAs are crazy. You barely even have to touch them. Because remember when touchscreens came out on phones, it was like,
We were
holy
like,
crap.
oh!
Yeah, no buttons, that's nuts, and we're just now starting to, like, scratch the surface of voice interface, and it's like, yeah, it kind of works, but that's going to be the new thing, Soon it's going to be like there's one button. It's just to, activate
I think Apple's trying to get rid of the earphone jack so that only wireless earphones can connect.
Yeah.
That's how thin they're making them.
Yeah, we're getting there. So I think that's got to be a thing, is it's new, and there's got to probably be a little bit of exposition where it's like it's focusing a little bit on the kid for a while, and then there's going to be like a night where it's sitting there and suddenly the phone turns on. Maybe it makes a certain like sound, like doo-doo-doo-doo, and the parrot hears the sound and like recognizes, oh, when it made that sound, the kid said like play music or something like that, and then something turns on, and that could be our first time that they interact, and then that could kind of develop into like the parrot experiments with that. So they did.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
I gotcha, but we're getting really we gotta tread back into Fable territory. We gotta work towards a moral here. We gotta
well,
also, we're ignoring the parrot's characterization. Like, he talks too much and he gets himself into trouble. And that might work more easily in, like, a tortoise and the hare type universe where animals have agency and, like, a society and junk.
Well,
yeah, that's
what I'm
agency.
What I'm thinking. Well, and I thought this too while we were naming characters. Stories like this work a lot better when there's a whole cast of characters.
A whole bunch of different, and
so,
I get, like, a whole family of. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't stretch like the tortoise and the hare into 90 minutes.
Maybe this kid's like studying to be a biologist or something, and has like like hermit crabs and goldfish and.
He's got like a whole kind of zoo worth of.
He's got a whole bunch of little like campus friendly pets. Maybe even like a rabbit or something. Nothing as
rabbits aren't that campus friendly.
Maybe if you make him a grad student, and maybe he sleeps in the lab that he works in, basically.
I want to avoid labs.
Okay.
It's definitely.
Well, I mean, it can be a science movie without being a science fiction movie.
It's definitely a bedroom. Like, for some reason, I really want it to be like the whole domesticated like pet thing.
Okay. What if he lives off campus and it's not exactly a bedroom?
Oh, there you go.
But it's like he's just got sort of a.
That's making sense to me.
He's got like a small apartment, maybe with a roommate or something.
Apartment is better.
Yeah, because when I think living on campus with a bunch of animals in a dorm, that doesn't just click for me.
No, this is definitely not a dorm.
Well, then maybe okay, so like there's all these like pets, all these domesticated little creatures, and that's the thing. Like, oh, it's a fable. Like, they all talk, they hang out, and whatever. And the parrot. See, the thing is, you're right. The lesson we need to work toward, because we jumped right into telling the story, but we don't know where we need to end up.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be the conflict with this owl, and what I'm thinking is, predator and prey. That's pretty much as primal as you get. That's basic planet Earth stuff right there.
Actually, as soon as you mentioned cell phone, what came to mind for me is the conflict of nature versus technology.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, there's this very basic primal, Darwinian, like, this is life, predator and prey. And the phone could, in a way, maybe like help the parrot actually overcome like being hunted by this eagle owl.
Ooh.
But then
the phone could maybe play a sound of like an eagle or something that eats owls, a fox maybe.
Something.
It's tough seeing how the owl is. Oh, you said owl is sound based, right? So yeah. I picture a scene where the phone plays a sound of a prey, a different prey.
I mean, not entirely. They do have like do have
right,
big
yeah,
eyes.
they got the eye cones, or I was doing some research.
They do both. Like, apparently, do you know owls have one ear higher on their head than the other, so they can like detect sound, like where it's coming from in 3 dimensions.
Oh, right. And the little tufts on their head look like ears, but they totally aren't. Right?
Yeah, those are just feathers.
Uh-huh. Which is funny. I like the idea of I got feathers to look like I have ears, but
Well, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that our lesson should have something to do with how we as humans, because that's the thing, fables were kind of invented because when we hear a story, a parable would be a fable that's about people. When we hear a parable, sometimes it's a little tough for us to really latch on to the lesson because we get a little too close to it. We think, oh, well, if that was me, then I kind of, I understand where that guy's coming from.
But animals are different because you have an easier way to jump into that fantasy.
Right. We accept this world that we've been given, and we can obviously see like, oh, so this is what you're trying to say. All right. So I think that in this story, the parallel here is we as people have used technology to overcome a lot of our natural disadvantages, like the parrot would be using to overcome being hunted by this owl. But there needs to be times when it doesn't work out. When, like, the parrot needs to know how to be a parrot.
Yeah.
Like when he's like, oh, my wings are really tired. I can't fly this far. Like, phone can't help you there. And there needs to be stuff. Like, in the end, I think the lesson should have something to do with how you need to make sure that you still understand the importance of not depending on it. Like, maybe at the end, like, the owl pecks at the phone and it saves his life, but now it's cracked and won't work. And he has to get out of it on his own. He has to not be dependent on it.
Mm-hmm.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, this parrot into this phone, they're getting...
Yeah, I thought the phone was kind of its own character.
Yeah.
Because
it is, but I pictured it almost being one of those... So
you're saying the owl just kills it?
Well, maybe not kills it, but just damage... Like
Disney style. Drops it off a cliff.
I picture
drops in water.
I picture the phone being kind of like R2-D2. Like, is a character, on some level communicates, contributes to the plot, but we still don't necessarily see it as a person.
Maybe it communicates like as much as Siri would.
Yeah, like it'll like instead of saying a sentence, it'll just like pull up a picture and be like, "Hey, this," There's something that this sounds familiar, but I'm trying to think of an example.
Bumblebee in Transformers communicates through excerpts of sound.
Yeah, that's close. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, where like he kept playing clips of the radio to try and form sort of like sentences.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it would just be like the phone just kind of pulls up stuff from the internet or from apps or whatever. And
what comes to mind for me is the Etch-a-Sketch in Toy Story.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right, if it was somehow displayed information similarly. Even if it just had a face. Because it's hard to do without a face. And that face changes based on things that are happening around it. Maybe it communicates through emojis.
I'm thinking the camera on the back of it could be like its eye.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Maybe the front-facing camera could be the eye, because then it's like...
Oh, because now they have two, so that it can get like the... Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, an eye on the front, and then the screen beneath it could show maybe just even a waveform that turns into smiles or frowns or kind of...
It can do something. Nice. I mean, coming up with that would be relatively easy.
I think that's pre-production stuff.
Yeah, true. Let's get to the story.
You could do something with like the HAL 9000 eye and the iPhone button.
To get to the owl, to get the owl into this, do they get lost in the woods?
Well, here's the thing. If we're saying he's a biology student,
yes.
There's a position at the museum I work at that a lot of my friends have co-opted at, called the Live Animal Center, where we use like animals for, educational purposes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
What if Logan is some kind of what if he was hit by a car or something and his wing doesn't work or whatever, and he can't be released back into the wild for whatever reason, and so he's just kind of at the grad student's work as like an educational animal, but he's like, I'm gonna eat that parrot.
Dude, I need to eat that parrot.
Yeah.
That's who, you can't not make me eat that parrot.
Also, I want I want to cast Idris Elba as Logan in this.
That's pretty good.
Idris Elba, it's funny, it's weird how not often he is cast as a villain. Because
he's playing Shere Khan in one of the Jungle Book movies that's
I know.
coming out.
No, I was excited about that, not the movie, but about that, because I'm like, wow, he would be such a good villain.
That is an all-star cast in that Jungle Book movie for some reason.
Such a waste.
Christopher Walken as King Louie? Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
Are they gonna sing and dance?
I wanna
That's
be
most
like
of the Jungle
you.
Book is the animals singing and dancing. That's
I
like
wanna walk like you, talk like you, ho ho.
Oh, geez.
that actually might make it work.
Anyway, so okay, losing track
Right.
here. Get back to
So
my
yeah,
notes.
something happening.
so
he was a
the-
rescued.
Well, what's the
eagle owl.
we've got our characters, we've got our setup, and we've got our what we're working towards here. What's the parrot's motivation? What's Parrot's motivation?
There you go. That's what we
Like,
need next.
what's his thing? What's his story? He's your character, Andrew. Tell us.
Well, I feel like, what if he attracted the attention of the owl, because Logan kind of made like a hoo hoo sound, for the kids at like some kind of prompting, like he's trained to make vocalizations, and so the parrot kind of mimicked that because he's like, ooh, fun sound, I love talking so much, hoo hoo, and then the owl's like, are you making fun of me? I'm gonna eat you.
I think
Yeah.
the owl needs to be parallel not parallel. He needs to be a representation of the very primal, not even interested in the slightest in technology.
Yeah, you could.
Whereas,
You could show that very easily. I'm talking pre-production again, but yeah, in just how you present this owl, this giant predator of nature.
Here's the
in
thing.
a modern setting, like he almost like feels contained in a way.
Here's the thing. We were talking about. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, go ahead. We were what?
Okay, well, we were talking about D&D earlier, and one of the things I like about D&D that's interesting from a narrative perspective is they separate intelligence and wisdom. Now, the parrot doesn't have a lot of self-control, but he's really smart, right? He can, like, talk with people almost, pretty much. And the owl is he's wise in that he's like...
Worldly, he could take out any animal they saw out in the wild, but
Yeah, but he's not intelligent so much.
no, he
because
just
he's
does what
like-
he does.
Yeah, he's an
Ah,
animal.
yeah, I see. So you're talking about themes of those two. Yeah.
Yeah, so the battle could be between sort of like
Oh, wait a second.
Intelligence versus wisdom.
Did
Yeah.
you say you want the owl to also be something from captivity, or does he live in the wild? Because I have an idea.
he was like hit by a car out in the wild like a long time ago, and now he's kind of lives behind the scenes at some
So
museum or
that's-
institute or something.
So that could be a thing then, that they both are in captivity, and the parrot's cool with it. Like, he learns how to say
he's
things.
probably born in captivity.
Yeah, and
Owl,
he
not
has
so
this,
much.
and there's this phone that he likes messing around with, and then haha, this is cool, whatever. He's happy with his life. And the owl, that could be kind of our Act 1 thing, where he just hates it and he wants to get back out. And,
Yeah, the owl's like an angsty art student, and the parrot's like a biology student. Like, I'm in debt, whatever. And then the owl's like,
I got something
the
here.
world is too dark.
What if the parrot doesn't know? The parrot doesn't see himself as a parrot, as prey, but the owl knows he is.
Yeah.
So maybe
that's
the owl
the thing, yeah.
Maybe
Like-
the owl could be talking up the wild, the nature.
Well,
And-
and it's... Well, I'm sorry, I'm just excited. Keep going.
Yeah, and he doesn't know it's an owl eats parrot world out there. So
Yeah.
he thinks it's cool.
And that it is such a perfect parallel of how, like, today's generation grows up with technology and with all these things, and they just don't even get their place in, like, nature. Like, they just don't get it. They think that, oh, well, no, like, all this advanced stuff and all these artificial things we have, that's just life. That's just who we are. And this owl is this older, wiser creature that's brutal, but has a much bigger advantage with, like, coping with the struggles of what you're going to encounter out in the real nasty world.
Yeah, that's a really good parallel.
That's pretty
wait,
good.
and the owl has extra motivation to hate technology like that because he was hit with it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, Iota. What's his motivation?
Like I said, Iota's a very childlike half character. Doesn't really have much of a personality. Like I said, yeah, like he's basically R2D2.
Yeah. I got it, but hang on. What if Iota, part of his simplicity, part of his design is to help people, kind of in that Big Hero 6 style of, like, I'm here to help type of technology aspect. So when something as complicated as, a creature's coming to terms with his own nature comes into play, he might not be able to help. He might not know exactly how to explain that. Maybe he might be the one that drops the bomb on parrots and tells him that, look, this is what parrots do and this is what owls do. He eats
Yeah,
you.
it could show like a video, like a YouTube
Oh
clip.
god, that's horrifying.
I mean, maybe not that. There's
What-
got to be a way to make that work without just showing like an owl messing up a rabbit.
True,
day
but yeah, I was
on
gonna say,
screen.
what would it look like if you saw if you open up a YouTube video and you saw a person get attacked by like an eagle and just die, and that's what always happens. That's how most people die. Yeah, that's.
I mean, not most people. It's not like owls eat parrots all the time.
No.
They would if they could, but they don't normally live in the same place.
True. And yeah. All right. No, we're really getting something here. I think we need just a few more like key story moments.
We're doing a pretty good job of getting all the big pieces we need.
Yeah.
Like
Just
it's
a few more big pieces, I think, is what we'll.
Yeah.
Well, what's like the big event that happens in the middle, and then how does it end? Let's do those.
Okay.
Well-
So
Go ahead.
no, you had something.
No. I honestly, all I was gonna do is back us up and say, well, what do we have so far? Let's go over the pieces we have. So
Okay.
there's this.
All right.
Bio students, museum, Logan. Ooh, hit by technology, doesn't like technology. Parrots, loves technology. He was born into his intelligence. Logan, wisdom, wild, kind of nature-y. Well, Parrot's the technology side. And let's see, he's a loudmouth, gets into trouble. And you have Iota, who's his phone, can express emotions in an R2-D2 style way. And they're all like, "Hey, what's up? Oh, we're cool." But what happens is that the Logan, the owl, he starts talking to the parrot, and he's all like, "You, dude, nature's great. Get out of here."
Slow down. You're overloading.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've got the pieces.
No.
But...
That's most. We're not done yet.
That's how far we are. We're about in
Well,
the second act.
that's how
Oh
far
yeah.
we
No,
are.
I mean, we've got the pieces set so far.
Yeah, and I mean, beyond that, we know that what's going to somehow happen is that it's going to be kind of a chase. Logan's going to be kind of antagonizing Parrot, trying to kill him, get him, or something.
Mhm.
And somehow he's going to have this phone with him. That's a little problematic. I'm thinking maybe he'll like comically, because I kind of picture this being sort of like a Pixar-esque like CGI movie. I picture him like kind of carrying it with his feet, just like flying around with it.
What comes to mind for me is that Parrot is like kind of, he just always sits on, very pirate style, just sits on his like owner's like shoulder. He's always like with him type deal. And what came to mind was maybe they had a big release thing where they set Logan back out into the wild, or have a big fly arounds like the campus type style thing. And Parrot's around at the time, and Logan turns on Parrot.
Or maybe Logan just escapes.
Or
Yeah,
escapes.
I'm
That could be
thinking
like a great escape scene where it's like he picks up a hairpin or something and picks out his lock, and there's like a whole great escape thing with alarms and stuff.
I don't know about that because
Okay.
that seems a little against his character. I picture him just knocking the cage over.
Oh, right.
Him
He
just
doesn't like
forcing
technology.
his way out of the cage, flipping
Yeah.
it
He
over.
can't use technology then.
Just brute
Okay.
strength. Yeah, just break out. And then he gets out and it's bad. Like maybe even like he hurts somebody and Parrot wakes up. He'll probably be the one that, starts Logan.
What'd be funny is if the parrot, the sound that he makes is the sound of like an alarm.
It's a parrot.
Yeah, that'd be a funny way to show that he's technology. He uses a bunch of like sound effects in his voice.
Nice.
Like you get like an app full of like little sound effects, like air horn, and he just makes that sound.
Oh, hey, also, English teacher, correct me if I'm wrong here, but with the duality that we're doing between the parrot and Logan, I'm getting like some Jack London vibes almost.
The duality between Parrot. What do you
Between like wild and not wild, because like I've read White Fang and opposite White Fang, which is Call of the Wilds.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I'm not as familiar with Jack London. Like I know, Call of the Wild, stuff like that. But like I mean, I know what you're saying as far as like the whole thing between them it's been done. I mean, well, like Fables, it's not about really being like the concepts behind Fables are supposed to be very simple. You know, it's
Right.
not supposed to be the clever part is how are you going to get there? You know,
How are you going to get there? What are the parallels of in a full feature style thing that we're doing like this? What kind of parallels we can draw, and how much more can you fill this up with stuff? Animal Farm
Right.
style.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we have these guys. A chase ensues. He starts. Was this the scene that we're talking about where he uses Iota to like start making sounds and stuff, to using the technology of Iota to help him out in his kind of cat and mouse game with Logan.
Maybe like, oh wait, I have an idea.
Yeah.
What if it like this really dark, tense scene where Logan breaks out and maybe even like starts hurting like animals or people. Parrot sees it and immediately says something like, like danger, danger, and suddenly Iota just starts playing like Danger Zone.
That's a good bit.
That would actually
wait.
be pretty great.
Is there a better Danger song than just Danger? No, wait, no, that would actually be great because then it could lead into like a whole like little chase scene in the air between Logan and the parrot while Danger Zone's playing.
Yes, yes, it could actually turn into like a dogfight.
Yeah.
And then they pass actual dogs.
Okay, that's too many dots.
That's a little too layered. People won't get it.
All right, fine.
But like,
I thought it was brilliant.
that's still a good idea though, having it turn into like an aerial pursuit thing and having Danger Zone play.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty good.
That's
But
amazing.
that's a good second act, actually.
No,
That's
that
a
would be the first
good,
act. That's when he breaks out.
Okay. All right, I guess that's like crushing
No,
the
I'm
threshold.
thinking end of second act is when he gets out. Because we had the whole first act.
So
okay.
that's kind of a crisis thing.
First act is going to be all kind of exposition-y, character
If
building.
we want to put some stakes on there, why don't we have like in the scenes where the humans are talking to each other outside of the animals talking to each other? Like, what if there's a scene where it's like, oh, that's Logan. He's mean. You don't want to mess with him. And then
Yeah, we're established.
the bio.
They're
Yeah,
good.
but then the bio student kind of like tries to restrain Logan physically, and maybe he gets his face slashed a little bit. Not like enough that he has to visit the hospital, but not like anything super serious.
And there also needs to be a really kind of on the nose moment in the beginning where somebody, like two human characters, need to somehow mention what we're talking about, like the whole moral here. That's always how this goes. Like there needs to be some moment in the beginning where, like maybe the one guy gets that new phone. And like his friend, he's like, "Oh, look how cool this is! Look, I don't even have to touch it and whatever." And the other guy's like, "I mean, is it that hard to push a button?"
There's definitely that guy.
Yeah, there's got to be something that
It's the kind of thing where, and he probably has to catch on that his parrot likes his phone. Like he has to see like, oh look, my parrot's playing with the phone.
he can totally embrace it and be like, "Oh, dude, check this out! I taught Parrot how to like use commands. Watch."
He named the parrot.
There could be a bit. Oh, I gotta put this on YouTube.
Well, and
how do I put this on YouTube?
Well, Andrew, I do not say this in any way to offend you, but when I was in college, I noticed that scientists in particular have a tendency to really lack creativity.
I am so offended.
That's
Well,
not nice.
You're definitely an outlier. I don't mean you. I mean like I've met people that are like, well, I study science and like I just don't understand.
I can explain that better. The science field kind of, including engineering, it attracts a lot of kind of people that are very kind of connected by the book, book students, book heads.
Well,
There
was a guy.
I do agree. That is true to an extent, but I'm an environmental science major, and we're all hippies.
Oh yeah, that's where that's coming from. Yeah,
Okay.
No, but there's a lot of people, especially in engineering, where
Like technology.
But like,
science.
have you ever talked to a chemist?
Well, like there was a guy on my rugby team in
Apologies
college.
to all our chemist listeners.
Well,
they might make up like 50%. There might be 10 of them listening.
They're all types of people. Like when I played rugby, there was a guy that was another major. He was in the sciences, and he and I got into an interesting discussion. He had no idea why poetry exists. He's like, I don't understand what purpose it serves. It doesn't solve any of the world's problems. Like he was very objective, And
why did he put these colors together on this piece of paper?
right.
Well, why
Captain,
do we
this
need
is
any
illogical.
colors?
Well, and like I said, what I'm getting at is I think that along that line of thinking, there's that whole yeah, they're all smart guys, they're all scientists, or whatever. But then like some of them have this one way of thinking, and then some really don't. But anyway, and that was also my that was also my justification.
Sorry, but a lot of bio students are like. At Drexel, there's kind of a division where environmental science is all like wildlife and outdoorsy biology, and then the bio kids are all like pre-med, essentially.
What I was working towards there is he could be one of those scientists that named his parrot because he doesn't really understand why would you name it anything else. And then he's the one that thinks like, oh, this is it, man. Like if you don't have the latest greatest technology, then like you're wasting your time. Like, and he has sort of the same problem that Parrot is going to have, where he doesn't really appreciate that there's more to it than than just these artificial things around us that do things for us. There's more value to life, So
right, yeah. He has to learn something. He probably has to learn something too. Go through a type of arc when things when Logan gets out, this stuff that happens end of second act into third act, he has to embrace nature in a way too, right? How would he do that?
Maybe it's not his bird. Maybe it belongs to his professor.
Oh, okay. And he's just watching the parrot.
So he has to go find him.
Okay,
that's interesting. Oh, and also there's got to be a scene where the parrot is out like on a treetop or something and sees this landscape and is like, "Oh my god, I've seen a picture of this, but somehow
I've never like flown in this."
Yeah, like somehow it's different. How is it different? The picture should be the same, like doesn't really get it.
Yeah. Oh, maybe Iota could be with him, and the Iota is like showing him the picture. He's like, "Yeah, I took a picture of it," and he's like, "But it's not. That's not this." Like,
yeah,
there's difference. I can feel the wind. I can smell the breeze and the.
And that could be a neat little moment too.
All right, wait. I've got a bit of an idea here.
Okay.
What if the bio student, who let's give him a name. Let's call him Mark for the sake of just convenience.
I like Mark.
Yeah, Mark is Mark. I said got his face scratched up a little by Logan during the second act. Do we want to keep that or?
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
Yeah, all right.
Keep
well, let's say like they're Logan and Iota and the parrot are in a situation where Logan's like just about to strike and the parrot's like helpless, and then like at the last second, Mark comes in with like a bag and just bags Logan because he's like he kind of embraced the predator sort of nature thing that Logan himself was espousing.
Maybe.
Who? Wait, hold on.
And that's like.
I'm sorry, I must have zoned out for a second. Who is it that captures Logan?
Mark, the bio student.
Is this like our climax?
Yeah.
Your climax is put a bag on Logan?
Yeah, he's an owl.
yeah, I know, but he's...
Actually,
the whole point is making this big force in nature.
I think we need to somehow really sell the fact that it's not bad to have technology, but it's important to embrace that there's more to life than all these artificial things we have. So I think that at the end there should be a moment where we realize Logan isn't really inherently evil. He's just a part of something bigger. Like that's
right. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Like maybe Mark is kind of like maybe he's sort of a stringy, non-athletic type with like big glasses and stuff, and he's like, oh, technology, nature's dumb. But then
what came to my mind is that somehow they get in like a nature preserve type scenario. Like Logan's out in the woods. He's out there, and Parrot's out there, and so is Iota. They're, having an exchange or whatever. It ends with Logan flying off, like getting away. Mark finding Parrots being reunited like that. Something like that's where the big mix-up happens and how they get back together in the end. Maybe Mark uses nature methods for finding Parrots instead of using technology or a tracker, because maybe he was trying to track Iota for a while, and that was working for a bit, but they got into like the no-bar zone of the woods. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and well, that can be.
How does Logan get away? Like, or how does Logan stop chasing Parrot and Iota?
I think that what's going to happen towards our third act is either the battery's going to die or they're going to lose service, and Iota is going to somehow become useless. And since you've spent the whole movie getting attached to him being there, it's going to be kind of jarring, like, he's on his own, and everything's going to feel really scary. Like, no more Google Maps, no
I
more...
think loose service is good. So
no more
there,
flashlight. But... Yeah, like, so he's going to spend a couple days, like, not having any idea what to do. And
Mark's in a similar scenario because he loses track of him. So they're kind of going through parallel journeys there of trying to cope with nature.
And here's the other thing. Mark doesn't have his phone.
Oh, yeah.
So he's on his own.
Or what I pictured was him and a friend, and they're using his other friend's phone to track it, and then his other friend is more nature-y. Maybe he's more of an environmental science kid.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's the one's like, oh, we'll set up camp. And he's like, well, set up camp, this is the woods. And
actually, I have an idea.
Camp in the woods? Outrageous.
If you guys want, I shudder to say this, but I'm going to float this out there and see what you think.
Okay.
What do you think of having the other science student being a girl and there being not like a full-fledged romance, but like a cute little flirtatious, like...
I think honestly that's half what I pictured in my head.
Okay.
That's fine.
It works.
I mean, it kind of reinforces the stereotype that women are closer to Earth or whatever.
Well,
but
not just that, but
I'm not even sure what that stereotype's supposed to be about.
Well, and I don't think necessarily that way. I think like it's interesting because that's a very natural thing. And without like having Facebook or not being able to text or whatever, it's like you have to learn how to talk to girls like all on your own, pal.
Yeah.
like that could be another interesting little
that's pretty
thing.
Good stuff. Okay. I think all we need to do now is outline the climax. See what this climactic showdown between Logan, Parrot, and Iota's there as well. And then right before they get reunited.
I think there needs, like I said, for some reason I pictured this early on. I think Logan's going to make some comment like, look, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, faster, I have talons, I have a beak you have no defenses. Out here in nature, this is how it is, I'm bigger, I'm better.
This is my playground.
My claws are like spears, my wings, a hurricane.
Right. But I think what could be the thing is that the phone, even though it's off or isn't working, gives him a physical defense of some kind. Like he kind of uses or maybe, have we decided this yet? Can the phone move on its own?
No, we haven't decided that. Yes,
I
think
phones don't move by themselves. Maybe they could vibrate. They could vibrate just enough to like move about.
I'm thinking.
Actually, what I'm thinking is he can only like flip and turn and stuff.
Okay.
Like some degree of movement. Through vibrations. If they were really fast vibrations, then he could like flop back and forth.
Well,
parrots can pick things up in their feet pretty easily.
Yeah, he can hold them in his talons.
Well, what I'm thinking is like Parrot is hurt and kind of like laying there, and Logan's swooping down, and then somehow the phone ends up like getting kind of draped over top of him, and it shields him.
Oh yeah, his talon smashes the phone instead of.
Yep.
Oh wait, you know what? You know how like some phones have that dog whistler app that like you can play different frequencies of tones on.
It hits a frequency that scares Logan away.
Well, yeah, I think the whole like play the sound effect
can work.
Well, I think that the whole like play a sound effect to avert him would be an Act 2 thing.
Yeah,
because then I'll be like, no, I see what you're doing. I'm not falling for that. I don't. Did I smell? Like, I don't smell any predators around here. Like, that's...
The way I see it is Logan's talons are coming in and for Parrots, but Iota is able to protect him. He gets shattered in the process, but what happens is Mark finally shows up. Logan gets away because he doesn't want to go back to captivity. Then Parrot's like, oh, man, Iota saved me. Like, that's great. But he saved me in a way that I learned more about nature. And it ends with one of your classic... he gets a new phone that's like a Iota 2.0, but
what if he uploads the hard drive from the old Iota?
He'll just put his SIM card in it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's the same phone.
Iota's back, yay, same character.
But his new, die. Or maybe instead of the super advanced phone, he has a lesser version that has more nature accessible. I'm not sure what to say about that.
I don't know what that means.
Honestly,
how do you make a nature accessible phone?
To be perfectly honest,
does it make bird calls?
Hold on, I think that he should just get the exact same phone.
I guess so. What I'm thinking is that what if he like downgraded because now he doesn't need all that extra stuff.
Well, I don't
Yes,
think.
no.
I don't know if he would.
I'm saying I think the whatever next version of Iota Mark gets can reflect his arc that he traveled. Because if he gets the same phone, then it's kind of like he didn't learn anything.
I'm thinking like he gets the new phone, but he uses it differently.
Yes, he
You know?
downloads
Yeah.
wilderness apps.
like he says like when he puts
the
it next.
moral should be like technology's not bad, but you can use it however you
Yeah,
want.
like when he goes to bed, he says like play rainforest sounds or something like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Or you know what I
I was
mean?
thinking of, he's going on a nature trail with it, and his lady pal too is there.
Yeah. And it could be like, look, I plotted us a hiking trail, or something, you know what I mean? Like, and it can be like a cute little.
And Parrot's coming because even though it's scared of nature and knows about it, it can appreciate the landscape more. Yeah. That
works.
That's an ending.
Oh wait, can we going back to the climax really quick? I want to sort of keep the thing where Mark throws a bag over the owl, but instead I want Mark's lady friend to just like shoot him with a tranquilizer dart.
He goes back to nature.
No, I think they release him. I think what they realize is like Parrot needs to come back with us. He can't make it out here, but Logan
shouldn't come back with us.
Right, we need to let Logan go. That needs to be the thing. Like we need to let him.
Right, but like at least like tranquilize him or put him in a net or something.
Yes.
Just something active, just to like. Just so it's not like, oh, Logan gets away scot-free or whatever.
Yeah, no, they capture him in a net, and they say, all right, he's like, all right, let's take him back. No, we can't take him back. This is his place.
So they let him, they leave him, tranquilized at a riverbank, and then a bear eats him.
Well, no, they,
I'm sorry.
Maybe they,
the water level rises, and he drowns.
They'll wake up. It's just a tranquilizer.
No,
you don't use a lot of tranquilizers
I think
on owls.
That's a much better way to handle them. And I think that's it. I think
that's
we nailed it.
Yay!
Woo! All
Yay!
right, name game. But let's. I'd hope to this time that we can institute a 5-minute limit.
Okay.
5
good.
minutes to name.
So this is always the least interesting part of the show.
5 minutes to name the film.
Yeah.
All right, timer's going.
Go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
All right.
I was thinking, what about Unnatural? Although that sounds more like a B-rate horror movie.
That's too, Birds of Play.
Most fables usually have the blank and the blank.
Oh, okay.
We
The
could
owl
just
and the
keep
parrot?
it as easy as the owl and the parrot, or the parrot and the owl.
Well, Toy Story is pretty on the nose.
Yeah, The Owl and the Phone.
Fox and the Hound.
The owl and the iPhone. The parrot
The
and the...
Owl and the iPhone. No.
The Lion, the Witch, and the... No.
The parrot and the parrot and the phone.
Too boring.
Bird Calls.
Oh! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Under a minute. Good job,
Oh my
Andrew.
God!
Yeah.
That is
Congratulations.
totally it.
Can the tagline be "Nature calls"?
Yes!
That's
No, wait.
Bird Calls, Nature Calls?
No, too
Oh,
redundant.
no. Okay. Bird calls. Listen to the sound of nature. Yeah.
I was gonna. Nature
Yeah.
Calls works too, but Bird
Okay.
Calls is better.
All right. Bird calls. It is. Yay!
Bird Calls.
Yay! That's amazing.
All right. Congratulations, guys. We did our GenreBot episode on Fables.
Yay! And you guys thought it was gonna be a stupid genre.
Adam was the only one. I was on board the entire time. Adam was just texting me and being like, I can't believe Victor picked Fables. What a loser. I hate him, but I love him.
You lost me a little bit at first, but I think it's one of our most original ideas that we came up with, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like I said, I know it might have been annoying a couple times, but there were certain GenreBot has existed long enough now that there are certain things we tend to just do all the time. So I really wanted to try to get away from certain things. Like we like scientists. We still didn't really get rid of that. We like time travel. We like science fiction. We always have stuff. So I was like, nope. This is all about nature.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I pointed this out already, but I told Victor and Adam after episode 11, we have done so much stuff that's sci-fi. We need to move away from that.
And we have been doing that a lot, and I think the show's better for it.
Hey, dude, the Western and the slasher both weren't sci-fi.
Yeah, and they're both
no.
good stuff.
So far,
And this was realistic fiction, also.
sort of, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, if you want to hear those episodes, you can go to our website, tinyurl.com/genrebots, or find us on all kinds of podcast sites, such as iTunes, Omni, Spreaker, and Stitcher. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/genrebots, Twitter, twitter.com/genrebotpodcast, or email us at podcast.genrebot@gmail.com. Coming up soon, we'll be featuring iTunes reviews in the episode. So you can if you want to, your name could be read by us, and your opinion read by us, and reacted by us.
Yay!
Yeah, and next week
it's Adam's genre.
Adam's turn.
Yeah,
Drum roll.
and I believe we'll all be in person for that one too.
Are we?
Yeah.
Next
Andrew's
week.
home.
I'll be coming in for Grandmom's birthday and
Oh,
for
yeah.
the trivia night thing that I am apparently a direly needed resource for.
Well,
That's true. Hopefully
yeah,
we can line that up right.
that works. We'll figure
And
that
our
out.
topic for next time will be Buddy Cop.
Buddy Cop.
Buddy Cop.
Buddy Cop?
Buddy
Buddy
Cop.
Cop. Buddy Cop.
They're buddies and they're cops.
They're cop buddies?
Huh.
Cop buddies.
So
Cop buddies.
So wait, so basically, have you been keeping this in your back pocket ever since our '80s action movie?
No. It was like I said, hey, which one should we do next? What's a really fun one? I want to do a fun one. Buddy Cop is fun.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of when we were doing episode 10, the reworking the genres, and I think Andrew said like I'm gonna turn
Episode 3.
Daytona Wild into a buddy cop movie.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
Oh my god, the rhino.
Yeah, so it's probably from then. And I'm like, oh, Buddy Cop, that's a pretty good one.
He
Yeah.
plays by the rules. He's a rhinoceros.
All right. So,
All right, so next time, Buddy Cops.
will we have 3 cops? Will we have only 1 cop? Let's
Will
find
Will
out.
one of them
2 cops
be
and a rhinoceros.
Max Renegade Tiger Cop?
No.
Who knows?
Expanded universe.
Yeah,
Hey,
no,
we
we're gonna have
never-
a blast.
Well, all right. I won't say. All right. Well, I'm excited. Sweet. All right. So we've got our
Yeah,
genre.
all right. Until next time, Genrebot listeners, stay fresh.
Take a break from that cell phone and go outside.
Yeah.
Have it your way.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
All right. Great. Bye.
Bye.
Play music.